Welcome back, barbecue fans, for another week of Wise Guys BBQ. I'm Vin Picaro. I'm joined with Bob Bowman from Big Bobby's Q. And we got an exciting interview for you today. Jeremy Garrett from Campground Barbecue is going to be joining us in just a second. But before we get there, I wanted Bob to tell us a little bit. I wanted to congratulate him and tell us a little bit about his weekly activities over at Blackbird Farm.
So we have kicked off the barbecue food truck season.
That's awesome.
And being local, being right up the road.
Yeah, you're right around the corner from me, but what are the two roads there that you're located
That is
on?
Douglas Pike and Lime Rock Road.
That's great. What days are you there?
Currently, they're Friday and Saturday.
That's nice. I had a chance to stop by last week and had some fantastic barbecue. And the hours that you're open?
On Friday, currently we're at 2 to 7.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday, 11 to 7. And then starting probably sometime, I think, near the end of May, we're going to be doing Sunday. So,
well, I wish you the best of luck. And, just because you're seeing him here now, as this is dropping at 3 o'clock, he's in the stand cooking. So go see him and get some great barbecue. Meanwhile, stand by. Here comes Jeremy. All right, folks. Here he is, Jeremy Garrett, Grand Am and Campside Barbecue is joining us this week. We're going to have Bob Bowman go through a lot of what he's got going on, just what happened and what's going to happen. So, Jeremy, welcome. Thanks for being here this week.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me back, guys. Really appreciate it.
Excellent.
Jeremy, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
So you are the official kickoff. Your events are the official kickoff of the barbecue season here in New England. And
yes. Yeah.
The first competition was in Bristol, Connecticut?
Yes.
And that was the Southern New England Throwdown?
Yes, that's it. I know. It was. I remember when we were naming it. I was talking with some of the Connecticut guys, and they're like, "We got to have New England in there." And I was like, "Well, it's not really. Is it really New England?" And they're like, "Let's say Southern New England." Mm-hmm. So we had to have all the words,
yes,
all the descriptions to name it. Apparently,
and I actually was. I didn't compete, but I was in attendance for Saturday's event, Saturday's turn-in, visiting a friend, LG Barbecue. Mm-hmm. And it looked like a fabulous weekend for barbecue.
Yes.
I guess Saturday was a little windy, but it had nothing compared to last year when it snowed.
Right.
All right. I'm just throwing that out there.
No snow this year.
When we competed both days there and woke up and there's snow, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, my funny little story is I commented at like 5 a.m. I said, "Oh, wow, it snowed." So my wife thought I was on the Weather Channel. She's like, "Oh, you got the Weather Channel?" I go, "No, I'm watching this competition." And I think it was your top of your smoker had little dust.
It had dust in the snow. Yeah. So yes. So that was a good event. Do you want to give us a quick recap of that weekend?
You know what? And I can't even remember who won. I know day 2 was basted. Honestly, I can't even. I've been on the road, it feels like, for about 11 days straight. So I'm just kind of getting back and getting through my email pile. But yes, weather-wise, it was absolutely fabulous. It was like, I don't know, 74 and sunny. And we can deal with a little wind, but yeah, it was absolutely just gorgeous. And the folks there at the campground have been just such gracious hosts. And we'll talk about it in a little bit, but they invited us to come back. So we will be back that same location later in June.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
What's the location?
Lake.
It's Lake Compounce Amusement Park, and they have an attached campground that opens up. So we come in there prior to their opening weekend. We kind of just stress test the system, help their team to kind of, work through different things. And, like, for example, if some of the water wasn't working in the cabins, well, we're going to be a lot less, we're going to be much more forgiving than, say, a paid client with a family of 6 kids, so that's part of it, is just to give them that training exercise ahead of time.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I mean, that's what makes your events so special, right? Is that it is Campground Barbecue. So competitors, like you shared last time we talked to Jeremy,
it has the amenities.
Right. You
It
don't
has
have
the
to.
amenities.
You don't
It
have
has,
to feel like
you
you're
know,
really out in the behind your car in the trailer.
Exactly.
in the
Yeah. You
mud.
don't have to listen to the hum of a generator,
Yes.
3 days in a row, water, at the campsites, cold water. But, if you rented a cabin,
Yeah.
which I would recommend, by the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was a really good weekend to kick off New England competition barbecue. Catching up, it's a lot of catch up, and getting to see people again from the long winter, waking up, kicking the dust off.
Sure.
Exactly.
Also, kicking the dust off. I did notice. Did you have any 700s that weekend?
We did on Sunday.
You did on Sunday.
I think getting basted was the only one.
Okay.
To be fair, he had Mark from Fire at the end of the day assisting him.
Yes.
So I was going to call it getting faded, but
getting faded.
I guess,
Yeah.
that'll be their combination team next.
Yeah. Yep.
That's good. That's
cute.
cute.
Like you said, after a long, hard winter, I think all of us in New England will agree this was a really hard winter.
Yes.
It was really nice just to go and see all our friends, reconnect, share a beverage or 8, and get some competition out there before our big event coming up in next weekend,
right?
The Grand Day.
Yep. So this past weekend was the New Jersey Knockout.
Right.
And that's in Blairstown.
I do remember.
That's in Blairstown, and I do remember one day who won that one.
Right.
But
I was super pleased all weekend long. Compared to last year, again, much different circumstances. Last year, I think we had 4 inches over 2 days. It was just miserable, raining nonstop. There's water pooled up everywhere. And we did have, kind of a small sprinkle on Sunday, but a 1/4 inch is nothing compared to, 4 inches. So, and you know what? I think us New England Northeast teams, they just cook a little better when the weather's a little more challenging.
When the weather's challenging.
They got to hone in their skills, right?
Day one, super excited that our really good friends, Grandpa Vowels, took grand champion.
Yep.
That was New Jersey, this Blairstown location in New Jersey. The very first time they had a grand champion. So it was nice to have that come back. And just seeing the looks in there, they've been working really hard to get back to that point. And so it was awesome to see that.
Yeah.
And then congratulations to Brandon and House of Q. Brandon and Mike pulled it off, did an excellent job. They too have been working really, really hard. They've been out on the road for a bit, hitting a lot of contests already. So it was nice to see that reflected in their scores. And then on Sunday, another New England team won El Jefe Smoke, also hardworking folks. And they have never done well in New Jersey, ever. I was talking to Jeff and Dan, and they said, our scores always tank here. And the fact that we got a 707 or 708, whatever it was, they were just stunned and amazed and proud and happy and all of that. And then congratulations also to our reserve champion Glazed and Infused out of New Jersey.
Yep.
So an excellent contest all around. And then on the backyard front on Sunday, really nice to have Pitmaster Matt win. He won as he took a GC in the backyard competition as a 12-year-old. So now he's, I think, 16. I think he's 16. He might be 17. Either way, he's he's a junior in high school, and he won grand again. So again, super excited for all the teams, and yet another chance to kind of kick that rust off and start working for the rest of the season, wherever that may lead.
Right.
How many meats are they cooking in the backyard competition? Is it all
for ours? They do chicken and pork ribs.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's
That's
a typical.
that's a typical two meat kind of thing.
Two meat chicken ribs.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you could definitely tell that 2 weeks ago in Connecticut
Mm-hmm.
it was a little rusty.
Yeah.
You know, kicking off the dust, getting back into the routine.
Yeah.
Followed by a back-to-back double. They're in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And we had a score. You had a score of 705 by Glazed and Infused and a 707 or 708 from El Jefe
El
Smoke.
Jefe.
So killed it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Killed it.
Yeah, I think.
Well, and honestly, I was looking at the scores, and Grandpa Bow's won day one with, I think, a 694. Or maybe it's a 691 or something. And their scores actually improved to like 695, but like four more teams kind of pushed themselves, to go even further than that.
Right.
So it was really great. It really was.
Yeah.
And again, great to see all our Mid-Atlantic friends, folks from PA and New Jersey and Maryland and all of those places. A couple of new teams I haven't met before. It was nice to hang out with them. Moving on. We'll start the rest of the season.
Yeah. So it's not this weekend, it's the following week. So it's like would be a week. In a week.
Yeah.
It's the Grand
May
Am.
1st, 2nd, 3rd. Yep. The Grand Am.
Yep.
So this is the second year of the event. Last year we were in a different location. We were in Port Jervis, New York. We had a barbecue festival for the public, and then we had a barbecue championship for the teams. Our numbers are significantly stronger than they were last year. We had 47 teams last year. This year we're 70. So we've almost doubled the number of participating teams. And the representation is much broader this year as well. We've got a team from Alaska. We've got 3 or 4 teams from Canada. We've got teams from all the Midwest, Texas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Minnesota, all of those folks. We got we got folks from the Southeast. And of course, we also have, North Atlantic or Northeast and Mid-Atlantic teams as well coming in strong, as well as some local New York teams. So really excited about how the festival or how the contest itself has grown. The grounds are more receptive, I guess would be a way to say it, for our teams. We actually have built-in RV sites. So we've got 50 amp sites now for the teams that have sewer and electric, which teams love. Yeah. And then we've got some 30 amp sites with water. And then we'll build about 3 lines of sites that have 20 amp or 30 amp, whatever they needed. Mm-hmm. And the cool part about where we are moving to is New Paltz, is the Ulster County. We're going to be at the Ulster County Fairgrounds. So they held many, many years ago the Hudson Valley Rib Fest. They held that event for 16 years, all the way up until I think 2019 was their last year. They tried to bring it back. There was COVID, post-COVID, that kind of stuff, and so the event just has a lot of love in that community. It was very well attended over the years, probably 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 people, and people just loved coming, meeting the teams, trying the barbecue, seeing all the different vendors, having the live music and all of that. So we're kind of bringing Rib Fest back to the area with our own little tweaks. Mm-hmm. So super excited about how that's going. We've got our radio blasting right now, lots of ads. We've got social media ads, all sorts of stuff. So hoping we just fill the gates with folks ready to remember what those memories of Rib Fest were. Yep.
So are you going to, I'm not attending this year's, but last year you had bands and you had other vendors, crafts, food, all sorts of different things going on. Same as last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we'll have, so the hours are going to be 5 to 8 p.m. on Friday, May 1st, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturday, May 2nd, and then 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday, May 3rd. Yep. We've got live music start to finish. We've got, I think last year we probably had around 50 vendors. I've doubled that this year.
Oh, wow.
So we've got more barbecue.
Yep.
We've got other food vendors, like empanadas and Jamaican and Mexican food, all that kind of stuff. Got dessert folks. And then a lot of just really cool, clothing vendors or jewelry or, sampling of different things.
Right.
I think I've got 6 or 7 wineries and distilleries. So,
wow. That should do well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the thing I'm sort of most proud of is we're going to have a cooking demonstration area. So many thanks to Smokin' Dudes out of PA. They are donating product that we've got 7 teams that are going to do cooking demos. New York Pork Council is stepping in. They're going to provide some support. And the Good Charcoal Company is stepping in as well to provide product and samples for the public. And our goal is just to have this little alleyway where teams are cooking. I've got a local, it's a nonprofit organization called Vet Farms.
Mm-hmm.
They help veterans who, are displaced or, trying to find their way back into community. They kind of give them a place to, a home to be, basically. So they have a working farm. They also have a working barbecue truck.
Right.
So they're going to be coming. They'll be doing some demos and cooking different things. So we'll have this whole lane of where people can come in and just, try different things, see what's going on. Some of the teams are actually going to be competing at the same time as the demos are running.
Oh boy.
So I was talking to John with Grandpa Val's, and he was like, I'll just show him what I'm doing. All right. Right now I'm dipping the chicken in, and here's why I'm doing it. And hold on, folks, I got to go run this to turn in. I'll be right back. We'll see if I have any leftovers, Right. Yeah. So it's going to be a mix of, about competition and about just backyard cooking.
Right.
So I'm really excited about that, because at the end of the day, we need to grow this sport. And the only way to grow it is to show how exciting and fun and the love that we have for it, and pass that on to other folks.
Yeah. We talked about a lot. It seems like the biggest challenge for competitions to get the public involved in a way where you don't screw up the competitors, but also give them enough going on. And it sounds like you're doubling everything. So that's great.
Right.
So, that's the thing, right? That's what, World Cup of Barbecue is trying to do.
You don't want to be, you don't want to have an event and then say people, you have an event, everybody sees these smokers, everybody sees these trailers, and then you're like, no, we're competitors.
Right.
Stand back.
Yeah, because they're just as excited as everybody else. When they
they want to know what's going. They want to know what's going on. They want to try something. Yeah,
that's terrific.
So, Grand Am
Invitational, right?
So do you have the same rule as the American Royal? Invitational teams have to do the open.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Saturday, so Friday night, we'll do 2 one-meat cooks for chicken and ribs. And I think a lot of teams want to do that especially if you're kind of from outside this region, to kind of gauge the temperature of how the judging is going to go.
Yep.
Or to season, if you're borrowing equipment to season it, whatever it might be. So we'll have that on Friday night. And then on Saturday, we'll have our 4-meat invitational. So the only teams allowed to cook on that are teams that have either taken a GC or RGC in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You are a former world champion. We're also accepting teams who have taken a KCBS score of 700 plus. We feel like, if you've taken a 700 in a KCBS, if you have never won, you are every bit as good as these folks are.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that kind of expanded the pool a little bit. We'll still have a super high caliber of teams. And then the judges are all actually the minimum number of contests they can have cooked to be considered to judge, to actually eat and sample is 35 plus contest.
Oh, wow.
So I was actually averaging it So between, people that have cooked 400 contests to, 35, the average for the number of judges is 98 contests.
Yeah.
That's how much experience there is.
Wow.
Because, if you've got the best teams, let's put them in front of the best judges.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jeremy, let me ask you a question. Is it tough to gauge your pool on Saturday because you're giving folks the opportunity to come one year or the next? So if I
What do you mean?
Well, in other words, if I RGC'd, right, let's say, and I get an invitational and I can't make it this year, I have the invitation for next year. So I'm just wondering if that's problematic for you to fill out that field, right? Because you might have, I don't know, I'm making up numbers. Maybe you got 200 people that fall into that criteria, but only 50 come this year, and next year 150 come.
Right.
That must be challenging for you.
I mean, this is only year number 2, so we're just
figuring it out. Yeah.
We're still kind of feeling how it goes. At some point, we will hit a cap on the number of teams, period, that we can have at the event. There's only so much space.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And, we could certainly bring in more teams, but it then becomes, I have to create the infrastructure. I have to pull out the water lines and it's almost cost prohibitive then to add those extra teams if that's the case.
Right.
So we may stay around.
What's the size of your team that helps you get this done? I mean, it can't be just you, right? You got some people helping you out over there?
Oh, I got Scott.
Okay.
We've got just we've had so many people that just kind of want to help. So for example, next week, we're going down on Wednesday, a whole group of about 8 or 10 of us. That includes our reps, from KCBS. They will be there. I mean, they'll be stretching electric lines. They'll be drawing, the spaces for the vendors and teams. So everyone just kind of puts in. And then we've got some extra folks that, will come in and help, like volunteer to sell tickets or things like that. But a lot of it, you know, we just have to kind of hire, you know, like I hire someone to clean the bathrooms or to pick up the trash out in the vendor space. So it's, you know, you have to pay for a lot of the support that you get,
right?
But we also have a lot of folks that donate their time and volunteer to make this successful, because we're all invested in making this the very best we can.
Right.
Sure. That's great. That's good. That's cool.
And what's so special about this year?
Everything.
No, come on. Come on.
So last year was kind of, let's set a baseline and then grow from there. So this year we've added in like the one meat cooks on Saturday or on Friday night. We've added in some new ancillary categories, which I think are really fun. So on Saturday, we've got Made with Maple, and that's sponsored by Corey's Maple Farms, which are out of New York. And then we have a cocktail. You know, that'll be the last judging of the day.
I'll take two.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We've got a cocktail one, and I'm hoping next year I get that sponsored by, you know, some local distillery or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then on Sunday we'll add a sausage ancillary.
Yeah.
So we're gradually growing that. We're adding the cooking demo thing. I think that's going to be really fabulous. And that again brings in more partners like Pork Council.
Right.
Next year, what I'd like to do is you know, some events with Pork Council, and you know, basically they bring some food and you know, we get families or whatever to learn how to cook a pork chop.
Right.
If you've never done that before, you know, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're just still kind of growing the grounds and trying to all, you know, raise this ship together.
Right.
We will have one of the I guess not a complaint, but one of the things that people were dissatisfied with at last year's event is they wanted to go meet teams. You know, we did have like a VIP thing,
yeah,
but it was very limited. And so this year, every night we have kind of a meet and greet for an hour and a half outside of regular cook hours.
Okay.
So, you know, so teams don't have to like fend people off during that time frame, and the public knows, okay, this is when I can go chat up the team. So I'm hoping, you know, we just have people kind of filtering through and looking at stuff and talking to folks. the cooking demos will actually run during when the cooks the turn-in time is.
Okay.
So again, that's to keep people out of everyone's hair,
right?
And have something for them to do. And then after that, then we open it up and people can go meet with teams.
Right.
We'll also are going to place a couple of bleachers inside the judging area. That was something that they used to do at the Hudson Valley Bread Fest. So, we'll have a little stanchion roped off, but I'm going to have a couple of master judges out in the audience so that if someone's like, watching people eat is pretty boring. But if you have someone kind of doing a play-by-play of what they're doing, that's a little more interesting. Yeah. And then people, they can talk about, what they're looking for. Well, they're not looking for fall off the bone. They're looking for, a very, very slim, cooking profile. Right. Well, I think that, again, provides more information to the public. And, even if they don't leave with anything but more than, some hints to help their own backyard cook, that's all good.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I was really trying to set you up for something that's going on in Las Vegas. That's what I was looking for. I'll drop the bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering when you're going to have to hit him in the head with to get him
to. So what makes this year's more a little more special than?
That's a great question, Bob. So we are one of the few New England Northeast contests that has been selected as a qualifier event for the Barbecue World Cup.
Congratulations!
So both Saturday and Sunday, the winner of each of the 4 meet contests.
Oh, so they're including the invitationals.
Yes.
Okay.
So, the invitational on Saturday and the open on Sunday. We get 2 tickets, one each day, for qualifiers for the barbecue, $1 million barbecue.
Lucky you. You got a double. You get a double shot.
Yeah, we do get a double shot. I'll actually have to look down the list and see who's won so far, because as I understand it, they're passed down to the next one down the line. Yep. So if our grand champion has already taken a ticket somewhere else, then it goes to the reserve grant.
Right.
He's taken it, goes to 3rd place.
Yep.
Which I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah. So they're giving you a grand champion each day. They're not giving you a grand and a reserve each day. They're just giving you a grand each day. So you're getting 2 for the 2 days rather than 2
1
for
per day.
Yep. Okay. Understood. Day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And because we'll have, so we'll have, I think we're at 48 teams on Saturday for the invitational, 70 teams on Sunday. There's actually more teams on Sunday. Right. So it's actually a larger field to have to win against.
Right.
Sure.
Right. I mean, just like the Royal.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. The invitational is 200 and something teams.
Huge.
Yeah. And then there's like
400, 500 teams. And
the competition. Yeah. That's crazy.
So, So that is exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. And this is only one of the qualifiers in New England, correct?
I feel like Cora, maybe a second one.
Yeah, is Cora is the second one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cora is the second
so
one.
we listen, guys in New England, ramp it up because we only got 2 shots unless you want to drive and put the miles on.
Right.
No, it's true.
This is it.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm sure if someone's in Jeremy's competition and doesn't get an opportunity to win that, then Cora becomes that much more important for New England, right? And or wherever you want to drive to. Yep.
And then Jeremy's competition has the
invitational.
The invitational that you're bringing in some, like you said, top teams. Teams that have GC'd, RGC'd, 700 plus scores.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I've got 6 or 7 world champions. So nothing.
No.
A few of those. Yeah. Saturday is a $40,000 purse, $10,000 going out to grand, $5,000 to reserve. First place for each category pays $1,250. Mm-hmm. And then I think 10th place is $325 or $350.
Yep.
Wow.
And then have to do a shout out to Humphreys Smokers and their machine shop. They are donating 11th through 15th place for all 4 categories for both days. So we really appreciate them doing that. And then the trophies themselves are just incredible. They're amazing.
Right.
I think the only reason Darren Worth came last year was because he wanted that trophy.
Yeah, because he wanted. Oh, so I did see the post, Facebook post. There was like a double stacked Humphrey Smoker trophy. That was.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, whoever wins that, the shipping costs on that one's. But I think that was just playing around.
Yeah.
I hope so, because we have to lift it all. I don't know if I've got a forklift that will handle it.
Yeah,
that's great. That's great.
And then, after the Grand Am, we still have a few more barbecue opportunities through the campground series. And we've got a out of nowhere, kind of a brand new one called the Bristol Barbecue Bash.
Yep.
That's going to be basically June 13th and 14th.
Yep.
So it's a Saturday, Sunday. We're going back to Lake Compounce, but kind of the cool thing about it is the amusement park will be open. Oh. So I know a lot of folks I've already talked to, they said, you know what, we're coming on Friday, we're going to go to the park. We'll maybe do a little park on action on Saturday morning, and then we'll compete Saturday night.
Right.
So I think it's one of the few times I do a campground contest where we're actually, have other, public attendees around us. And it'll be a fun little thing. I want to get a photo of like a whole bunch of barbecue guys on the roller coaster, all going, woo. That's what I'm looking for.
Well,
I'm looking.
I'd like to see Vincent on a roller coaster.
I won't be on that roller coaster. But.
Because we will be there that weekend and competing as Wise Guys BBQ.
Yes. I can't wait.
Yes.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So one of the interesting things I was hearing over the weekend, and this is just a very side note. I was hearing from a couple of teams, some backyard teams, but also some masters teams. And they were talking about how a number of contests are dropping from back-to-back doubles down to singles again.
Yeah. And
it's interesting that 6 years ago was when we kind of first started introducing the doubles, and people griped about that. And now they've come to appreciate how having a back-to-back contest, you at least get two shots out of the way, and you've only driven once, you've only set up once, yada, yada. Have you guys, again, this is completely off topic, but have you heard anything about that?
I've heard teams, it's too grueling, especially getting older. It's just too much.
Yeah.
And there is, it takes away from the social aspect of the competition, because you have to you definitely have to take off Friday. If you take off Friday.
Yeah.
You're showing up early Friday. You're getting ready for Saturday's tournament.
Yeah.
As soon as you pull in, you're set up. You got stuff going. I mean, most programs start at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They're starting to do stuff, getting ready for their cook at night, or prepping stuff for the next early morning. And then you have to do that twice.
Sure.
2 days in a row. So the social aspect.
How about economics? Is economics a driver in this at all?
Outside of the fact, you lose like I said, you lose an extra day of work.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you lost that. You got to cash in your, paid time off or your PTO. And
it's double, you pay for double meets.
Double meets, but you're going to be paying for the meets anyway, somewhere along the line.
Right.
About the only savings is your time to get to the event. And like Jeremy said, your setup.
Yep. And
the drive there.
Yep. And what about the cost to get into the events, right? You got to double.
Yeah, that's, Yep. I don't know if it's,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's usually the 2 competitions. So it's twice that. So is it really worth it?
No, I don't know. I just bring up the point because that's what we've been hearing when people have been asking about filling up competitions and the slow roll into the fill. What is it? And for it seems like half the people we talk to say, well, there's more competitions, there's more going on this year, so they're picking and choosing.
Right.
And then the other half is saying, well, it's the economics, right? My truck's a year older,
Right.
there's less money to spend, and but I understand that, like Bill taught us, you can go out 11 weekends and get 11 doubles is 22 events compared to 22 weekends,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So I guess everybody has their own method to their madness.
Right.
For sure.
Exactly. So, I mean, just like you said, you can go 11 weekends
and hit 22
and hit 22
weekends.
competitions, and that's it. Yeah.
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 What are you hearing, Jeremy? Are you hearing one way or another?
I'm hearing both. I thought it was interesting, though, that some of the teams were basically saying they were not going to do a single day comp if there was a double day comp
available
that same weekend, because again, the setup and right now diesel costs are out.
Right. Yeah.
Stupid crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is going to be. But I think it's interesting in that, 6 years ago, people were griping about having 2 back-to-back contests. And now they've kind of gotten a little used to it, but now we're sort of pendling, the other way. I think at the end of the day, economics are going to be the deciding factor of why people do something.
Yep.
People have less money, everything's more expensive. Like you said, getting days off is harder. So I think as an organizer, I'm trying to be reflective of all of that, and still try to have plenty of different events that people want to come do.
Right.
Sure. Right.
I think events like the Grand Am,
no, they're special.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not doesn't grow on trees.
And I think that's people are going to be more drawn to these type of events.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
Where there's, I've said this before, go back and look at all the podcasts that I've done with you.
Yeah.
I like the festival
type
of atmosphere instead of sitting in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Just there like a
I would agree.
Yep.
I mean, this would be my first year trying to compete. So, but I think I would feel exactly the same way you do.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I definitely enjoyed the Grand Am last year. Unfortunately, just couldn't do it this year. But I like that environment. So
great.
Sign me up for Memphis in May. We're going.
We are on grass, so it's not on concrete, which is always great.
Yep.
I also have to look and see, why did some of these other festivals not make it?
Right.
And what's the defining thing? Like we look at what happened with Mohegan Sun. That was a very successful festival for many, many, many years. So many great festivals out there. So we just kind of have to figure out what works, what keeps people coming back, and makes it fun, and keeps the teams invited as well.
Right. Right. Can you share some of the top names in Grand Am who are going to be there? Smoking Hogs.
Yeah. Smoking Hogs. Let's see, who do we got? Getting Basted, of course. A little team called Fire at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We got Virginia Smoke. They've won a contest or two recently.
Yeah. Is El Jefe?
Patty from last year.
Yeah.
Patty McHugh. Got some world food champions like Chicken Chokers coming in. Jetty Boys out of Minneapolis.
Okay.
That'll be a nice one. Chunky. Bears Den. They're the team out of Alaska. They took first place at KCBS Worlds.
Okay.
And so many amazing teams that there's easily half of them that could easily win it.
Right.
And I thought what was interesting last year was that the same 2 teams that won, Grand and Reserve for the Invitational, they were in the top 10 the next day, but they were further back. So, I think part of that comes down to the judging. Like I said, we've got more
right.
More professional. Well, not professional. We've got more seasoned judges on Saturday, and maybe not as many on Sunday.
I think that was one of the judges now calling.
I think it was I think it was a judge. Unfortunately, I don't want to talk to that judge.
I want to judge on Saturday. Well, get your numbers up. We'll talk. But I think it's just going to be a fabulous experience. Really, I'm really excited about it, and about the public part of it, and the community there. Ulster County has been just gone above and beyond to bring us into their fold. Their tourism office, their health department, emergency management, everybody down the line wants this to succeed.
Right.
I'm so happy we brought it to them.
Yeah.
Great.
I love it. Love it.
Sounds good. So are we
for the rest of the year, you want to run down some dates? Yeah.
So all right. So May 1st, 2nd, 3rd, the Grand Am in New York. June 13th and 14th, that's the Bristol Barbecue Bash in Bristol. I have one space left. We're taking only 27 teams. I've got one space left. September 19th and 20th, that's Green Mountain up in Braintree, Vermont. That is a 4-meat masters, and then we'll have a couple of ancillaries. And then we end up the season October 23rd through 25th with Red, White, and Q in Jackson, New Jersey. Yeah. That's almost the end of the season.
Yep, that's like the end. So it's the beginning of
that. It's a great way for everyone just to kind of get together, one last little shindig. We always do like a big potluck and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yep.
And then we'll bring the new rib roulette to that.
Oh yes.
What's that?
Ooh.
I don't know.
I didn't explain this to you.
No, I didn't hear it. You keep all the good stuff away from me, Bob.
Jeremy, tell us about the rib roulette.
Okay, real quick. All right. So last year I had a couple of teams to not be named because people would probably hate them. And they said, hey, we have this idea. Can you make it happen? I said, I can offer it, and then teams make it happen. But the idea is teams bring in 2 sauces, 2 rubs that you would never use in competition ever.
Oh, no.
And then we put it on a table and we do a snake draw. And so, first person gets 1 of each, and then it goes up the line and then back the line, and then you get 1 each on round 2. So last year we did that at the Jackson competition in October, and the results were horrendous. It was really, really, really bad.
Oh yeah. So this is nasty stuff, hot, spicy stuff.
Well, it could be hot spice. It could be.
Someone had pickle seasoning, and I remember the box entered the room, and the judging room immediately. Everyone was just gagging. It was so bad. It was really bad.
Yeah.
And I did have some video of it, but I had to take it off the interwebs because I was asked to. So this year, we kind of, and you can't add, you can add butter, you can add salt and pepper, you can add, fruit juice. That's it. You can't add any other barbecue rubs or anything to.
You have to use that rub and solely that rub.
Right.
You have to use that sauce and solely that sauce. No modifications. So this year we kind of said, all right, because some people they got both, but they only used a little of one, and then so I was like, all right, you have to use both rubs, both sauces. You can't, and you can still have the other stuff. So, and I don't know whether to be like sad or proud, because the results this year were not bad.
Yeah.
So what that tells me is our guys are really good cooks. They took something that was really bad and they made it palatable. That's sort of, the goal is to make the least offensive ribs that you can.
Right.
So I'm going to fix that next time. Next time we're going to, we'll do like sort of like a dirty Santa where, you pick the rubs and sauces for the guy behind you. and he fixes for the guy behind him, and then on the way back, he picks for you, and you pick for the one on your other side. So
this is getting nasty.
I feel like that'll be, and again, it's just for fun. It's just to
it's like hot
show
ones
off
for ribs, kind of a thing. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, for teams to kind of show off their cooking skills, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of inner competition, to succeed. So Smokin Meats won the rib roulette trophy, and he was very proud. The least offensive ribs there were.
Yeah.
So
that's basically about it. The least offensive.
All right, there you go.
So, that sounds great. That sounds great.
Trying to have fun. Trying to have fun. Bring some fun to barbecue.
Jeremy, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate your time, and of course, Bob, making the connection, getting Jeremy on with us.
Jeremy, thank you.
So
great. Thank you, guys.
Great luck the rest of the way, and maybe we can get a chance when you get done with all your busy work to check in and see how things are going with you.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right.
We'll see you in June.
We'll see you in June.
On the roller coaster.
You go do a roller coaster.
Thanks.
The
Jeremy.
water slide.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Free Willy.
Free Willy.
All right, that was awesome. Thank you again, Jeremy and Bob, for setting that up. That was sweet. So I wish everybody at home another great week. Go out and eat some barbecue, and you can do that over at Big Bobby's Q trailer located in Smithfield at Blackbird Farm. So get out there this weekend and get some barbecue. Take care.